Welcome back. You are once again watching Outlook on Roundtable on Prime TV. I'm talking to Malinda Seneviratne. Actually, our topic this evening is the Wikileaks stunt and how this 39-year-old Aussie guy has been smart enough to grab the attention and became a too big guy to be challenged. Before the break, we discussed that he made somewhat startling disclosures by the powerhouses in the world. And you rightly pointed out, when it comes to reliability of the Wikileaks, that these big nations, the big wigs, have not denied these comments. Instead, we knew, it was very apparent, that these big nations influence the other countries or Sweden to announce public warrant on this Julian Assange on sexual misconduct. But they didn't deny the WikiLeaks announcements, WikiLeaks disclosures. To what extent WikiLeaks will have an impact on a global forum when it comes to human rights issues? Will that be an influential force in the eyes of the UN human rights? Can it influence a body like UN human rights to take a serious attention, serious focus on an issue?
Well, Mahesh, the world is not flat. Some countries are big, some countries are rich, some countries are powerful, some countries have nuclear weapons, some countries are not allowed to have nuclear weapons. Some countries are forced to be poor. And those power imbalances find expression in multilateral bodies like the United Nations as well. Now, before WikiLeaks, long before WikiLeaks, there is enough and more information to carry out, to sanction or appoint some some body to investigate, not allegations, factual, proven instances of atrocities, crimes against humanity, genocide perpetrated by big countries, powerful nations. That has not happened. That has not happened. Instead of which, the United Nations will, based on some allegation, unsubstantiated, inconclusive, ragtag bunch of information put together by people with very poor track records, and poor in the sense that they have been guilty of supporting terrorism, for example, to appoint a panel to investigate these supposed war crimes, not systemic even. But here we have situations where thousands, 500,000 people have been displaced on account of policy decisions, not some random general half drunk giving an order, right? Torture. That has not happened. So WikiLeaks has not changed that. WikiLeaks won't change the power dynamics of the world in the not in the immediate future. It might happen later, when people get agitated about what their governments are doing with their tax monies and so on. But right now, I don't see the power dynamics having changed. It's embarrassing certain individuals. It is being made to embarrass particular people very selectively. So we are not seeing enough. We have not seen enough. We have the corporate world has been, for the moment, left alone. Julian Assange says that there will be further disclosures of all the machinations in the corporate world, but that is yet to be seen. How those play into the global political processes and so on, we are yet to see. So we have to see. We have to wait.
Well, why do WikiLeaks victims not reject these WikiLeaks
because they can't,
disclosures?
Because it's true. And if I catch you picking someone's pocket on camera, you can't deny it. You just talk about something else. You will say that I'm a bad guy. I'm a drug addict. I don't know how to use a condom or something like that. That's what Julian Assange is supposed to have done. But you won't say I didn't do this. You can't say that. You have to deflect. That's what
Oh, is it because they are careful that they don't want to let this notorious guy to open another can of worms? And
I don't think that Julian Assange, if he is supposed to be, if he is the person he makes himself out to be, he is not going to be deterred by that kind of thing. Whether he is provoked or not, he will put it out. If he doesn't do it, someone else will. If Wikileaks doesn't do it, some other leaks will come up 2 months from now, which will do it. So that road doesn't take you anywhere. So they are just leaving it alone.
Isn't there any sign that Wikileaks being supported monetarily?
Well, people can, we don't know who, I don't know who's really funding them, all the names of all the people who are funding them, but you and I can contribute, but we are also being, there are obstacles being placed about contributions, about using certain kinds of credit cards, and you can't. Such bans indicate that some people are worried about Wikileaks. So we don't know who is funding them, where the funds will come from. But what we do know is that there are a lot of voluntary people, volunteers working on this. So even if Julian Assange and some of the top people in Wikileaks have some kind of devious plan, and they are in cahoots with the United States government or Ban Ki-moon, I don't know. That does not mean that everyone is into that story. They are operating on their own.
Don't you think alternate media like Wikileaks can provide a medium for countries with less power, weaker countries, small countries like Sri Lanka, to point out the crimes perpetrated by the big brothers?
Yes, we can embarrass people, right? We can when some diplomat who is being bull in a china shop or whatever, acting like a viceroy, we can say, this is what you did. Will that change the power dynamics? Will that change the diplomatic relations between Sri Lanka and that particular country? I'm not sure. I'm not sure, how far, just being able to show them the finger would take us. But certainly, to be informed is to be empowered. So that when Patricia Butanis, the US ambassador, comes to Sri Lanka in 2009 and says, I am a Democrat, I am for dialogue, open, free dialogue, and then she is shown to be having other dialogues, not open, secretive, devious and mischievous, then she can't say that again. She cannot say that again. So that is a good thing. That is a good thing, so that we know when someone is smiling that that's a mask. So that we are not going to be swayed by a sweet smile and a pretty face or some sweet nothings whispered over a cocktail or something like that. That's a good thing for people to be alert. That does not mean that tomorrow things will change, but who